Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramans Parivadikacharya Stotra Sutta Krishna Kapamurti Abhayachana Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Samat Bhakt Vrunda Ki Hitai Gaur Premanande. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glories to lotus feet of Shri Guru and Gauranga. Oh, Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 16, Text number 37. Thank you. Shiti ad no, Shiti adbir esa kila vrataha. Kshiti adbir esa kila vrataha. Saptabhir dasa guna utter andakausha. Saptabhir dasa guna utter andakosha. Yatra patati anukalpaha. Yatra patati anukalpa. Sahanda koti koti bistad ananta. Sahanda koti koti bistad ananta. Shiti adibir esa kilavrata. Satabdirdasha guna utterandakosha. Yatra patati anukalpaha. Sahanda koti koti bistad ananta. Shiti adibir esha kalavritaha. Satabdi dasa guna utter andakosha. Yatra patati anukalpaha. Kshiti Adnibir Esha Kile Vitaha. Kshiti Adibhi, by the ingredients of the material world, headed by earth. Eshaha, this. Kila, indeed. Avritaha, covered. Saptabhi, seven. Dashaguna Uttarahi, each 10 items, more than previous one. Andakosh, universe. Yatra, in whom. Patati, falls. Anukalpaha, like a minute atom. Saha, with. Andakoti koti bhi, millions of such universes. Tata, therefore. Anantaha, you are called unlimited. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Each universe is covered by 7 layers: earth, water, fire, air, sky. The total energy and false ego, each 10 times greater than the previous one. There are innumerable universes besides this one, and although they are unlimitedly large, they move about like atoms in you. Therefore, you are called unlimited. Purport. The Brahma Samhita 5.48 says, Yasveka Nisvasita Kalamathavalambya Jivanti Lom Vilaj Jagadandanath Vishnur Mahan Sah Iyasya Kala Vishesho Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. The origin of the material creation is Mahavishnu, who lies in the causal ocean. While he sleeps in that ocean, millions of universes are generated as he exhales, and they are all annihilated when he inhales. This Mahavishnu is a plenary portion of Vishnu. Govinda, Yashya Kala Vishesha. The word Kala refers to a plenary portion of a plenary portion. From Krishna or Govinda comes Balram. From Balram comes Shankarshan. From Shankarshan, Narayan. And Narayan is second Vishnu and second Shankarshan. From the second Shankarshan, Mahavishnu. And from Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. And from Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, Shirodakshayi Vishnu. Shirodakshayi Vishnu controls every universe. This gives an idea of the meaning of Ananta, unlimited. What is to be said of the unlimited potency and existence of the Lord? This verse describes the coverings of the universe. Satabdir dasagunotter andakosha. The first covering is earth. The second is water. The third is fire. The fourth is air. The fifth is sky. The sixth is total material energy. And the seventh is false ego. Beginning with the covering of earth, each covering is 10 times greater than previous one. Thus we can only imagine how great each universe is. And there are many millions of universes as confirmed by Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 10.42. Athava bahu naitena kim gnatva tava arjuna vishtabhayam idam krishtam ek amshena stito jagat. What need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. The entire material world manifests only one-fourth of the Supreme Lord's energy. Therefore, he is called Ananta. Umajnanam timirandasya jnanam janashalakya chakshur umlitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitenya Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapnadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathathamintam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shivishakanitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Din Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांछा कल्पतरु भक्ष कृपा सिंधु व्यवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवानां नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So this is a complicated explanation that how Krishna is the original supreme person, and from Krishna, different plenary portion comes. And Krishna is not doing anything, but the expansion of Krishna is doing the work. All the homework is being carried out by the expansion of Krishna. So to understand this knowledge, we should have faith. We should have confidence that the Shastra is giving us a real knowledge. Because it's very difficult to understand that there is a Garbhodashai ocean or there is a causal ocean and Mahavishnu is lying in that ocean. And there is a spiritual sky, there is a material sky. So this requires lots of faith. And it doesn't come by the speculation. For example, yesterday I was talking with Kevin, and Kevin was asking me a question that Justin and Kevin was talking about how we fall down. Is it by our free will or what's going on? How we fall down? Are we eternally over here in the material world? And that's a good question. Is it our free will or we are eternally over here? Justin, that was the question, right? You and Kevin were discussing the question. You remember? Kevin was asking me the question. So I told that, okay, fine. Is it if it is a free will or if it is a eternally we are over here, does it make any difference to you? It makes a difference at one point. But let me start with this. Does it make any difference? When a person is in the blind well, there are snakes in the well, poisonous snake, and they're ready to bite you, you're not going to think how I come in this well. Who brought me in this well? Am I eternally lying in this well? Or is my free will that I gone into well? Come on, Prabhu, you are in the well. You have to get out of the well. So, Shastra is giving us a knowledge how to get out of the well. Shastra is also telling us that how we are in the well, but we want to speculate by our own ways. We want to think by our own ways. We don't want to apply the Shastra. And this makes the things really hard. What makes the things really easy? When we understand this hard work just being created by our acharyas for our purpose to make us out of the blind wells. Otherwise, simple thing, Prabhu, if you are in the well, do you have time to think that the snake is right in front of you? Do you have time to think that who brought me in the well? No, we don't have time to think, but we have time to think that how can we get out of the well? And everywhere in the pages of Bhagavatam, Krishna is telling that how to get out of this well. In the beginning of the introduction in Bhagavad Gita, there is a beautiful verse, Maya Mugdha Jivere Nahi Swata Krishna Jana. Means the jivas, the living entity, are so much involved in the illusory energy of Maya, they cannot understand Krishna by their own will, by their own power. Jivere Krishna Kripa Kaile. By mercy, by by bestowing the causeless mercy on Jiva, Krishna Ved Purana. This Vyasdev, Krishna himself, is compiling the Vedic literature, and everything is given in the Vedic literature. If we really apply this thing in our life, it will help us to get us out of the material world very easily. So, this verse says that there are two energies of the Lord, Para and Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti is a living entity. It's conscious. They are known as knower of the field. And Para Prakriti is called unconscious. It's inferior. First one is Para. Living entity? Okay, sorry, I'm wrong. Living entities are called Para Prakriti and they are superior and they are called knower of the field. And Apara Prakriti is Kshetra. It's filled, it's inferior, it's unconscious. So, Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhir, Evacha. Earth, water, fire, air, sky. Man, mind, intelligence, and false ego. This, they are the separated energy in 8 divisions. Among these 8 separated energies, the 5, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, they are gross. They are gross creations. And there are 3 subtle, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Now, most of the living beings, materialistic and philosopher, they only have conception of the 5 gross creation. They don't have any information about, or they're neglecting the mind, intelligence, and false ego. So because of this neglect, because they're neglecting this mind, intelligence, and false ego, they're trying to speculate the things. They're working on the basis of the speculation. And Krishna says that Athapite deva padam bhujadavya prasadalesh anugrata hitevi. The meaning of this verse is that the person who is favored by the slight mercy of your lotus feet can understand you, not the person who is trying to understand you by reading so many Vedic literatures. He cannot understand Krishna. But by just getting a slight mercy of the lotus feet of Krishna, we can understand Krishna. So when it comes to the spiritual point, the material knowledge will not work. The material mind will not work. We have to surrender to ourselves. We have to surrender to the process. Otherwise, we will speculate. We want to get so many things and we want to understand so many things. Okay, why is this is happening? Why this is happening? But this is happening, it's given in Shastra, and we have to follow that thing. So how Krishna can be understood? Krishna can be understood by only Kevala Bhakti, pure Bhakti. Krishna cannot be understood by any other way. Queen Kunti, she was praying that Krishna, even the great philosophers and scholars who are studying the Vedic literature from so many years, they are doing so many austerities. They even cannot understand you. How can we understand? We are being the women and less intelligent. To understand Krishna, we don't require a great education. She was a woman and she was telling herself as unintelligent. But she was still getting Krishna because she was humble. So what required to understand Krishna is humility. And humility means to hear with the submission. To hear from the Guru and Shastra and have faith in that words. So in Bhagavad Gita 8.14, Krishna is telling about the Kevala Bhakti. What is Kevala Bhakti? After explaining all the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Arjuna was telling that I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So Arjuna was telling that, okay, I will tell you the Bhakti which is mixed with Yoga. And after explaining all that Bhakti, he is explaining the Kevala Bhakti. And the verse is Ananya Chetasa Satatam Yoma Smarati Nityasha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha New Taksha Yogina. Means the one who remember me constantly, for him I am easy to attain. So this is very simple. To remember Krishna constantly. That's the homework we have to do. We don't have to do any other thing. Just remember Krishna constantly. How can we remember Krishna constantly? In all our activities, in all our work, keeping Krishna at the center. Prabhupada has made things so easier. So, by who constantly remember me, I'm easy to obtain because of his constant endeavor in the devotional service. And in 822 also, Krishna is saying that Purusha saparapartha bhaktya labhasyata ananya, that I am the supreme personality of Godhead. I can only be understood by the unalloyed devotion. And the third line is that although I am situated in my own abode, I am pervading everywhere and everything is in me. So what does that mean? Krishna is in his own abode in Golok Vrindavan, but still he is everywhere. His energy is everywhere. Means the expansions and plenary portion of Krishna is working. Parasa Sakti Vividhaya Shuryate. Krishna is nothing to do with this material world. He comes in this world to enjoy with his devotees. But this work of creation, maintenance, and destructions, all these things are carried out by the different energies of the Lord. And if we understand this thing, that okay, this has been taken care by Krishna's energy, then we can understand the supremacy of Krishna. Now, here they're explaining about the Purusha incarnation. There are three Purush incarnation. First is a Karanadakshay Vishnu, who lies in the casual ocean. There is a spiritual sky, there is a material sky. There is a spiritual sky, there is this whole, suppose this is a whole spiritual sky. In the whole spiritual sky, there is a small portion of material sky. And in that material sky, there is a Mahat Tattva. Just imagine, this is a big spiritual sky. In the big spiritual sky, in a one corner, there is a material sky. And in that material sky, there is a Mahat Tattva. That everything is in a Pradhan state. Like everything in a solid state, nothing is moving. Now what happened? Mahavishnu in the Karana ocean, he just glances. He glances on that Mahat Tattva in the material sky. And just because of his glancing, the Mahat Tattva become agitated. An innumerable universe come out from this Mahat Tattva. So in material sky, there are innumerable universes. And which is just coming from the glance of, it's very difficult to understand, right? It's just coming from the glance of Mahavishnu. He's just glancing an innumerable universe coming out. So, the second Purush avatar is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Second plenary portion of Karanadakshay Vishnu is Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So, what is the function of Garbhodakshay Vishnu? He enters each and every universe. And by his perspiration, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, by his perspiration, he filled half of the universes. There are innumerable universes, and all those universes are half filled by the water of the perspiration from the Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And he himself lie in that ocean. I think Acharya Nishta Prabhu was trying to explain this thing to some of the students in UIC. But yeah, it's very difficult to understand for the science students. So, so Mahavishnu is then Garbhodakshay Vishnu lies in that ocean of Garbhoda ocean. Garbha means udar, Garbha, placenta. He's lying in that ocean. And from his navel, there is a big navel, it's like a river, sea. From that navel, it comes a lotus stem. And that lotus stem, there is a lotus on the top. And there is Brahmaji on the top. Brahmaji, there is residing place of Brahma. Brahma is a Jiva Tattva. He is not a Vishnu Tattva. He is a Jiva Tattva. He is residing over there. And there are 14 different planetary systems on the stem. And each and every universe has an earth planet. There are innumerable universes. And each and every universe, there is an earth planet, which is in the middle. There are 7 planets below and the higher planetary system above, the Swargaloka, Taploka, Maharloka, Janloka, they are on the top. Earth is in the middle. And below is Pataloka, Narakloka. There are different hellish planets where the material people who wants to enjoy the material life, they stay in the lower planet. It's full of opulence. It's full of wealth. It's full of money. It's full of sense gratification. So we sometimes think that only higher planets have sense gratification. But no, it's not. Bhagavatam says that more than the higher planets, the lower planets are full of sense gratificatory activity. And they don't have light over there. They are all been lightened by the hood, the rays emanating from the hood of Ananta. So that, yeah, this is a description of the whole universes. So actually, there is a constituents of Prakriti, first of all. The mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. So there is three things in the Pradhan state. Mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now what happened? Above this mode, there is a Kala, time. Under the purview of time, this combination of the modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, give rise to karma. So, combination of this mode, goodness, passion, and ignorance, under the purview of kala, time, it gives karma. So, karma, we are suffering and enjoying the fruits of results from so many time. So, effects of karma may be very, very old, but effect can be changed by changing our activity. So, karma is not eternal. Karma is not at all eternal. So, what is eternal? Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, and Kala. They are eternal. Karma is not eternal. Ishvara and Jiva are conscious. Prakriti, Kala, and Karma are non-conscious. I think in Bhagavad Gita, Jayajana Prabhu explained all this, right? They are all unconscious. So, under the purview of Kala, Prakriti moves. How? The constituents like goodness, passion, and ignorance, under the influence of time, when everything is in Pradhan state, the churning takes place. When churning takes place, the Mahat Tattva comes. The Mahat Tattva, there is a evolutes of Prakriti, like mind, intelligence, false ego, and it again differentiate into Jiva. And Jiva get the body according to his past impression. And what causes Jiva to move? Prakriti causes Jiva to move. And the movement of consciousness is called karma. Are you getting this? A little bit scientific. So, from all this thing we can understand Ishvara, this is the line used by Jai Jagannath Prabhu. Ishvara is a cause of projection, maintenance, and retraction of Kala, Prakriti, Kala, Prakriti, Jiva, and Karma. And Jiva is moving helplessly under the influence of this time. Then again there comes, what causes Jiva to perform the action? I gave the last lecture in this thing, last to last lecture, that what causes Jiva to perform the action? That is Swabhav, impression that is coming from the past desires. And they are in the Susupti state in the Pradhan. Everything is Susupti state. So, Jiva is getting the body and the senses based on the previous state in the Pradhan. Everything is set in the Pradhan according to your karma, previous karma. So you're getting this body and the senses according to your previous state in the Pradhan. So accordingly, we don't have any free will at all. Same question you're asking. We don't have free will at all. Our free will is only when we are surrendered. Otherwise, we are totally under control of the nature. We are totally under control of nature, and nature is whipping us with a stick. Do this, do that, do this, and do that. And we are helplessly doing that thing, and we think that we are independent. But we are constitutionally bound. But we are only free when we are surrendered. At that time, our free will comes. That we have used our free will correctly, surrendering to Krishna. And that is a freedom of the soul. And when the soul gets freedom, it gets a time to think what to do, positive. But if the soul is always covered by different activities, karmic activities, then soul will always be covered. It will not have a freedom to even think what to do. So our free will only comes when we surrender to Krishna voluntarily. Otherwise, we are eternally bound by the karmic reaction. Krishna is the only efficient cause, nimitta matram. For example, smell, when come in the proximity of mind, it disturbs the mind. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't even shake the mind. It doesn't have hand to shake the mind. But when a smell is coming into the mind, when we smell something, it disturbs the mind. Suppose we have some puri or pakoda in the kitchen. We smell something. Our mind gets disturbed. But smell doesn't come and touch us. So that is the thing. Similarly, Ishvara, Lord Krishna, he act because he wants to create this material world. So he is in a proximity of Jiva in one sense because he wants to create this material world. But he is not doing anything to Jiva. Jiva is coming and taking the body and senses according to his past impression because he wants to enjoy, and that impression is lying in the susupti state in Pradhan from so many lifetime, and just by glancing on that Pradhan, the transformation of Pradhan take place into different bodies according to the different past impression. And that's how we get different body and senses. So Arjuna was asking that how we are impelled to do these things, how we are impelled to do these things. And Krishna was giving the answer that even the intelligent man, shadrasham chestate sasya, prakati gnanvanapi, prakati yanti bhutani, nigraha kim karishashi. That even the intelligent man is forced to work according to the nature he acquired from the three modes. So what is the use of repression? Either by instruction or by teachings or by knowledge. So Krishna was telling to Arjuna that even the intelligent of the intelligent man in this material world is forced to act according to the qualities he obtained from the three modes of nature. So what is the use of instruction or teaching him? In the next verse, he says that there are the sense object. And along with the sense object, the feeling of desire and hatred is there. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, go beyond the feeling of desire and hatred and work according to the scriptures. Because the impression of past are so strong that it covers the free will of the soul and will force the jiva to act in such a way that he don't want to act. But willingly, if we follow the scriptures, if we try to understand the instruction, and even if we don't like, try to follow and have a faith, then scripture will help us to get out of those things. Because mind will always say, do this, do that. But scripture will say always opposite. Don't do this, don't do that. So now it is our own voluntary free will that whether we want to apply the scripture in the life or you want to apply the mind in the life. So then Arjuna was telling that, okay, if you are saying that it's past impression, because of past impression we are doing these activities, then, and you are again saying that when you work according to the scriptures, the proclivity of desire and hatred go away and you will be purifying yourself, and at that time you will be doing your own swadharma. So go on doing your swadharma according to the scriptures. Don't come in the proclivity of desire and hatred. I don't want this, I don't want that. I don't want this, I don't want that. I don't want to associate with devotees. I don't want to chant my rounds. I don't want to come for morning program. I don't want to do that. But Shastra says, okay, you have to come to the morning program. You have to chant your rounds. So even if you don't want, but if you follow the Shastra, then Shastra can help us to get out of it. Okay? For example, Arjuna was telling that I don't want to fight because Shastra is telling that non-violence is already there in Shastra and the fighting is also there in Shastra. But if I am doing non-violence, that means maybe I am practicing this non-violence for so many lifetime. Who knows that? And it is my swadharma. Krishna says that no, It is not your Swadharma. You are trying to escape from your duty. No one can be purified automatically. One has to work according to the regulative principles. One has to work in Krishna consciousness and under the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master, he can transcend the mode of nature. And at that time, the Brahman can work as Kshatriya and Kshatriya can work as Brahman. Unless purification doesn't occur, you have to follow the Vidi rules. And unless you don't follow the Vidi rules, there is no question of spontaneous attraction. The next verse, 7.4, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhir Evacha is 7.4. Krishna said, apart from this inferior energy, there is a superior energy. Apareyam itistva anyam prakriti vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabhao yayadam dhariya jagat. That's, apart from the inferior energy, there is a superior energy. And they are called jiva, who is the knower of the field. And they are exploiting the inferior energy. They are exploiting the inferior energy. And I am the cause of both this energy, Krishna is telling. I am the cause of both this energy. Therefore, Krishna said, the Matta Parataram Nanet, there is nothing superior to be known. There is no need to research anything. Everything has been researched by me. You have to just surrender to me. Matta Parataram Nanet, Kintit Asiddhananjaya. There is nothing superior to me. Then Arjuna is asking, if everything is dependent on you, why nobody knows you? Then Krishna says that Tribhir Gun E Mer Bhav Air. They are deluded by the three modes of nature. They don't know me, who I am above the modes, inexhaustible, infallible. And where these modes come from? Maya. Daivi Esha Gunamai, Mama Maya Durataya. Krishna says that Mama Eva Prapadyante. He's telling again and again, please surrender, and you'll be out of it. But still we have so many questions. Why this? And we think that we are scientific students by posing the question. We are not scientific. We are making the thing complex to ourselves. We are taking the thing complex to the people who are trying to get us out of these clutches. But simply by following as a sincere students that, okay, I am trying to do this from so many lifetime, but I am not getting succeeded. Let me try to apply this path that Prabhupada is telling. And I can see that the people who are following this path, they are happy. We can look at other people, right? Suppose we don't trust ourselves, but why don't we trust with the people who are already we are seeing those people around us who are really happy and are enjoying their life. So we can ask them that, Prabhu, how you are happy? Are you behaving from their internal soul or are you behaving from your outward maniac physically? We can ask them and they can explain you, no, we are feeling. It doesn't come from the maniac physical thing to wake up or night or to do the books or to go out or something. No, it doesn't happen maniacally. It is spiritual surchargement. It comes automatically when you work for Krishna. Krishna give you unlimited dadami bodhi yogam tam yenama upayanti te. I will give you unlimited energy and intelligence if you want to really serve me. But if you don't want to serve Krishna, we can speculate. And speculation is the most dangerous thing because there are so many theories right now. There are so many philosophies. There are so many things going in this world that to get, even if we think of other thing, we will delude from this path. So it's better to, Krishna has somehow given us this path by some good fortune. Yadrachaya matkatha adu. Something by good fortune we have got this path. Then there is some reason behind it. Why? I was in India. I came over here. Why I'm in Krishna conscious right now? Why? Because there is some reason. Accepting it positively and applying it positively in the life will make a change rather than speculating. Ajnanascha ashraddhanascha. Shamshay atma vinashyati. Nayam loko asti na para na sukham shamshay atmana. The person who is faithless, who is doubting, he will never be happy in this life or in the next life. Krishna says clearly. Now, to doubt if it is our own swabhav, then we will suffer and we will waste the time of other people also because they have to explain you again and again. Prabhu, this is this, this is this. Again, next morning, Prabhu, I got this doubt now. Prabhu, I explained it last night. Okay, I got this doubt now. Okay, doubt are good, but please come out. Please come out. So, here you go. 7. So Krishna is saying that nothing is superior to me, nothing is to be known. I am maintaining everyone. And Krishna is saying, Rasoham apsu konteya. I am the taste of the water. I am the Om syllables. I am the strength of the strongest man. Bijamam sarabhutanam. I am the original seed, eternal seed of everyone. Balam balam vatam chaham. I am the lust. I am original lust also. Even the sex life is Krishna, which is according to the regulative principle. So everything is Krishna, nothing is against Krishna. And the people who don't surrender to Krishna, either they are dushkritano mudha prapadante naradhama. We have to understand it, that which category we are coming to. There are four type of people who come to Krishna also. Jnana, Shukrito, Arjuna, Artho, Jignashur, Artharthi. Artho means who are distressed. Artho, Jignasur, who are inquisitive. Artharthi, who are desire of wealth. Gnani, and the wise people also come to Krishna. So Krishna accept everyone. Krishna accept everyone. But who is Gnani, he is better than all. Because Gnani, there is no material desire. He doesn't have any material benefit or he doesn't want any liberation. He just wants Krishna. So for Gnani it is easy. But even if you are distressed, your desire of wealth, you are called Sakam Bhakta, Krishna will take care of you. If you simply, sincerely follow and have the faith on the instruction. Krishna says that Athava Bahu Naitena Kim Gnatva Tava Arjuna. That what is the use of this detailed knowledge? All this Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Karanodakshai Vishnu, Mahavishnu, casual ocean. What is the use? Krishna is coming in a very simple form, two hand Shama Sundar. Everything is everything we do in Krishna consciousness is just to understand one thing, two hand Sham Sundar. Krishna is giving the direct way. We need to understand all these things for sure. Because to understand two-hand Krishna form, we need to understand how Krishna is doing everything. But Krishna is also giving the direct way. You can directly jump over there. And jumping may be sometimes dangerous, but if it is done in a safer way, safe way means following your authority, following regulatory principle, following Vidhi Bhakti, coming in the morning program, chanting around, doing your services. If you follow that program and go on with the instruction of the spiritual master, this will come. Eventually it will come, the two-hand Shyam Sundar form. We don't have to accumulate so much of thing. We don't have to understand even so many shastras also. If you understand this small thing. Ayur Harvati Vaipumshan Udyan Ashtanchayan Asho Tashyate Tatchadonita Uttam Shloka Varta. I mean, the rising and setting of the sun, it decreases the duration of life of every man. When the sun rises, when the sun falls, the duration of the life decreases. Except those people who are involved in glorifying the activities of Lord. For that doesn't mean that there is no death for the devotees. There is a death for the devotee. But there is no coming back for the devotees. They're eternally going back to Krishna or getting some higher life where they continue the Krishna consciousness. So it is my humble request that we should take this process very seriously. We have just seen the couple of days before the Vyas Puja celebration of Maharaj. And we see that how these people are striving, struggling hard to keep this movement. So at least we can be a small instrument to them. If we have that enthusiasm and determination, if we don't have anything else, just think that how we can serve them honestly and sincerely, everything will come automatically. Everything will come. We don't have to figure it out. And everything has been done for you. You have to just stay and do the work which has been given, do the homework which has been given to us. Any questions? Yeah, and the last thing I want to tell you that Ananta Shesh is trying to describe the glories of Krishna for so many lifetime. So many lifetime. Sahasravadhanakaya, but he cannot even describe the simple quality of Krishna. One pastime of Krishna also. So let's read the pastime of Krishna. Yesterday night I was reading Krishna Sangiti. We can share something from Krishna Sangiti. Or one paragraph maybe, that how Krishna is, how the Vrajvasis is suffering from Krishna's separation. And how we should suffer the separation from Krishna. Though the Vrajvasis suffered much on Krishna's account, They would never reproach him, not even in a dream. Krishna's pleasure was their pleasure. And if his pleasure were to cause them distress, then the distress would be their happiness. That is a unique feature of Raj Prem. It is so free of selfish interest that it flourishes independent of Krishna's apparent faults or innumerable good qualities. So they don't care for Krishna's fault or good qualities. They only know one thing, Krishna, how to serve him. As long as Rajvasis were separated from him, they would be absorbed in trance of remembrance. In that meditation, they would taste an uninterrupted state of bliss, far excelling the sporadic happiness they could taste in his company. So this is that. When Krishna comes, the Vrajvasis were never happy. Why? Because they were always in anxiety that Krishna will go away. But when Krishna is not there, they are in a meditation, deep trance, and Krishna is always with them. So that's how they're saying. It was for the benefit of the Vrajvasis then that unhappy Krishna stayed in Dwarka. Now this is the Balrama and Krishna was in Dwarka. So Balrama has gone once to Dwarka to convey the message of Krishna to Vraj Gopis. So Balrama traveled through the Abhira and Savira provinces, across the land of scanty water and arid desert to Brahmavarta, and finally to Vrindavan. As, and as he did, he felt the ever increasing weight of Krishna's message upon his mind. He was ever increasing feeling the weight of Krishna's message in his mind. How would he represent Krishna's word to the distressed gopi? He had never undertaken such a difficult task. So no one can understand the Krishna's feeling of separation from the Vraj Gopis. Even Balrama cannot say, he cannot convey the message to Vraj Gopis. So to understand Krishna, it's very difficult. At the same time, it's very easy if we follow the footstep of Vraj Gopis or Vraj people. Otherwise, we'll speculate. We cannot even understand the to and from Krishna. We cannot even understand anything. So it's my humble request that to understand Krishna, leave your speculation down the road and just follow the simple procedure. Chanting, singing, dancing, and feasting. Thank you very much. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
I was going to mention him, so maybe he won't hear me. Hare Krishna. Excellent class. You always made some very beautiful points, especially about the last point. It's a very good point. Like mental speculation is very dangerous, and also the point of when we follow the shastras, the rules and regulations, then that can help us. But at the same time, sometimes we may see people one experience that I hope he doesn't hear me. I'm not sure if he's woke, but it's a very one thing I really appreciated about him, Jitendra Prabhu, of course, is that he never considers himself irreplaceable. Like, you can't replace me. So he's mentioned this point many times over the years. For example, he'll say, God, I hope they don't kick me out, because I can't attend all the programs. Even up to this year, he said that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're doing all this service and you can't, go to Manga Artsy. He never considers himself irreplaceable, always humble, and I will always ask him, how did you last in Krishna consciousness so long? And I kind of understood that this was a point. So sometimes we may see somebody, like, am I associated with him? When I first associate with him, or anyone, he will always, make comments, insult me, but they were very funny. Or he may call people out of their names, and I was thinking, this doesn't seem like very proper etiquette. And so this point came up to me many times before. I was recently watching a class with my brother. He mentioned pastime Brigu Muni and the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, how Brigu Muni tested Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. He disrespected Brahma by ignoring him. He insulted Lord Shiva, and then he kicked Lord Vishnu in his chest. And so naturally, when we see Brigu Muni, he's a Vaishnava. We may consider him an operati, an offender, but actually he wasn't an offender. That was inspired by the Lord. So my brother commented on mentioned that this pastime was mentioned Chaitanya Bhagavat, And there's a very nice quote in this regard, how we shouldn't necessarily, like you said, we shouldn't speculate. Krishna has complete vision of everyone's conscience, every situation. We don't have complete vision. And if we speculate and make an offense, we lose all our Krishna consciousness, the mad elephant offense. So this quote from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Vrindavan Das Thakur, in regards to this Brigham Muni pastime, is a very nice point. So I'll just briefly read it. So he says, in regards to this Brigham Muni pastime, an elevated Vaishnava, this is from Chaitanya Bhagavat, the last section is called ISKCON, and it's from chapter 9, verses 388 through 392. He says, an elevated Vaishnava sometimes acts in a way superficially like the actions of lowly people. Anyone who, by Lord Krishna's mercy, has the power to understand an elevated Vaishnava's actions will end all his troubles. He will become delivered. In this situation, Vrindavan Das Thakur, of course, is speaking, I see only one way a person can save himself from danger. One should humbly glorify every Vaishnava. A person who does not understand all this should take shelter of Lord Krishna and carefully hear the explanations of great devotees. Then Lord Krishna will give him spiritual intelligence. He will attain Lord Krishna. Nothing will stop him. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Justin Prabhu, you got a question? Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Right.
My question was that we understand. You mentioned that when Mahavishnu glances over Pradhan, this agitation causes the differentiation of the Mahatattva, and from there all the universes come.
Mm-hmm.
And my question was, we also hear that Karna Dakshai, when he lies down, the universes come from the pores of his skin.
Yeah.
So how do the universes emanate from the pores of his skin? Do the emanations come from the pores of his skin, or they come when he glances on the Pradhan and it agitates? It's a question that came to me.
See, I'm not a scientific person, but let me try to answer this question. So, Karanodakshai Vishnu, he lies in a casual ocean, right? And your question is that from his pores, the innumerable universes are coming, right? And at one point he glances onto Pradhan. So there is a Mahat Tattva. In the material sky, there is a Mahat Tattva. There is nothing in the Mahat Tattva. Everything is in solid Pradhan state, right? So when he's glancing, it could be wrong. You don't have to accept it. See, this is a type of I don't want to speculate. So, see, when he glances, what happens? The Mahat Tattva churning takes place. Sorry, Pradhan churning and the Mahat Tattva comes. And at that time, simultaneously, due to the perspiration, the innumerable universes are coming from here, going over there. Maybe possible. I'm not sure because I was reading in the first canto. I read before a few years, and then I was also confused with this thing. At one point, they are saying that it's from the perspiration. At one point, they are saying that it's glancing. So what I understand is that he glanced on the Mahat Tattva, and the churning takes place, and ingredients start churning, and everything comes out. And from his pores, the universe start coming out, and that Mahat Tattva, everything goes in different universes. And along with the Mahat Tattva and different universes. Prabhu, can you explain this thing if you have knowledge? Because I am thinking like that. If I am wrong, just let me know. Mahavishnu, when glance on the Pradhan, there is a churning take place. When churning take place, everything, the ingredients of Mahatattva start getting out. At the same time, the universe start getting out from his pores, and the different universes go into the Mahatattva. And that innumerable universes, the ingredient comes into innumerable universes. Does that make sense, Prabhu? Do you have any explanation for this thing? Yeah. So maybe it could be like this. He glances on the Mahat Tattva. Again, no, it's point to understand. See, it's very scientific. He's lying in the casual ocean. There is a Mahat Tattva over there. He's glancing on the Mahat Tattva. Then the ingredients are getting churned off. then where are the material universe coming from? So maybe it's from the perspiration, the pores, that the universe is coming out and going in the Mahat Tattva, somewhere like that way. Something is happening. If you have answer, if you answer, I'm really eager to understand this thing, honestly. Inconceivable? That's a good answer. You want to share?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if someone else has a question, we can see before. I could read something, but I have to find it first. Are there any other questions?
I want to appreciate your point that you made in the beginning of the blind well. This is from Bhagavatam, right?
Yeah.
That was a really beautiful point. Like we asked, questions. So they're nice to know, but we shouldn't, consider them the center. So I was appreciating your point that, if you're in a blind well, and the snake is about to bite you, you're not going to ask how to get out. And so the Lord or His elevated devotees in a transcendental position trying to help us pull us out.
And still we're questioning them.
Huh?
Still we're questioning them.
Yeah, exactly. So I really appreciate that.
And then what do? We question them and we go in the park and take drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have our senses controlled and we are questioning those people. Just understand them. Just try to follow them.
So I really appreciate that point. That reminds me of one of my favorite verses in Uddhava Gita. I think it's in chapter 3 where the Lord is compared to a spider and His energy is compared to a web. So just as a spider is never entangled by its web, the Lord can never be entangled in His energy. Unlike us, we're entangled, but we can become unentangled by following His instructions. We could be unentangled in the web of material existence. So I really appreciate that point. That's reminded me of that.
I know. Is it too hard to understand this thing that we have to follow the instruction? Is it not? It's very simple. We have to follow the instruction. If we really follow the Shastra is a science. It's a deep science. This is not a simple book. Prabhupada has compiled 18 volumes of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a deep science. And first and second canto are full of science. There are not even a single story over there. How the creation occurs, how the different demigods comes, how different things come, the size of their. If you read, some people might get distracted that what is going on in this Bhagavatam. That's why they are not understanding the Bhagavatam. They cannot be a person the size of thumb. They think that how can be the person the size of thumb? Krishna coming out of the nose of Brahma. How can the Krishna come out of the nose of Brahma? This is inconceivable thing sometimes. Yes, Prabhu.
I just want to say it was very nice what you were saying. Just in general, I liked it. I just wanted to make a point about, I'm a philosophy student in Kentucky.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, and so pretty much the class format is I have 3 philosophy courses, and each one I just listen to a professor talk for about an hour and a half about various philosophical theories. And I mean, some of the stuff is so insane. I never even thought going into philosophy that it would get this deep. Considering realities, it's metaphysics. So realities, the soul, spirituality, they cover all those things. And I mean, stuff that says like, can you be all and nothing all at the same time? And are there many things and one thing? There's so much stuff. It's crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. First of all, the thing is that this metaphysical things and all that things, they used to use big words, metaphysics, science of soul, 3-dimension things.
Right.
When they teach and they go outside and smoke.
Yeah.
This is not a philosophy. Philosophy is to be taught by the person who knows these things. Like Srila Prabhupada. He can teach the philosophy. You can't teach the philosophy while going in the class, having a cup of a coffee in one hand and teaching the philosophy. It's not a philosophy, that's a joke.
And that's why I wanted to, you're only confirming something that I had already thought about a class, and the teacher was in there we were talking like, well, what do we need to do? I'm like, well, there was a certain time period where, the ancient civilizations didn't have to sit around in a class and philosophize and ponder. They just were, they lived in that. So like Krishna, for example, lived the philosophy that other people sit in the classroom and rack their brain. Yeah. You don't need philosophy, you know what I mean? And so I just there's so many different theories and things like that you miss an opportunity to live and experience it. And you know,
Thank you.
so
Yeah.
so I just want to say it was very great, and I definitely
You
related
got
to
that
it.
thing?
Yeah.
I think you find it out. You found it out?
Yeah, Prabhu, can you state your theory one more time? I wanted to just check it. You said that the universe is... What happens?
Mahavishnu is lying in the causal ocean.
Okay.
Okay. He glances on the Pradhan. He glances on the Mahat Tattva. And the churning of Mahat Tattva, everything take place. And the innumerable universe come out from the Mahat Tattva.
From the Mahatattva.
Yeah.
I thought from the skin holes.
Now, what I am thinking is that it's also mentioned that it's from the skin holes.
Yeah.
So I'm not totally sure, so I'm not eligible to answer this thing. But what I'm speculating
Yeah.
is that when he glances on the Mahat Tattva, at the same time from this perspiration, the innumerable universes, he do the glancing work, so differentiation take place in Mahat Tattva.
Yeah.
But the universes are coming from the pores.
Okay.
So all the universes going there, and the ingredients are going in those universes.
Okay, that's nice. It's probably because you heard it a similar point. This is from Brahma Samhita, and it explains, the Brahma Samhita is described as the essence of Bhagavatam. So it's like a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it describes the whole process of creation, and then of course Govinda prayer. So chapter 5, text 13, it says, the spiritual seeds of Sankarshan existing in the pores of skin of Mahavishnu are born as so many golden sperms. These sperms are covered with 5 great elements. I'll just read the purport because it explains what happens. The prime divine avatar lying in the spiritual causal ocean is such a great affair that in the pores of his divine form spring up myriads of seeds of universes. Those series of universes are the perverted reflections of the infinite transcendental region. As long as they remain embedded in his divine form, they embody the principle of spiritual reflection, having the form of golden eggs. Nevertheless, by the creative desire of Mahavishnu, the minute particles of the great elements, which are constituents of the mundane, efficient, and material causal principles, envelop them. Are you guys catching that? You guys, this is the answer. By the creative desire of Mahavishnu, the minute particles of the great elements, which are constituents of the mundane, efficient, and material causal principles, envelop them. They envelop these seeds of the universe, the golden seeds of the universe. When those golden sperms coming out with the exhalation of Mahavishnu enter into the unlimited accommodating chamber of the limited potency, Maya, they become enlarged by the non-conglomerate great elements.
So can you explain this in simple words?
So the seeds of the universe in a golden egg form, which is a perverted reflection of the spiritual reality, the spiritual universe, the seeds emanate from the pores of his body.
Okay.
At which point the material elements of Mahatattva envelop them.
Oh, okay. So what I'm told is a little bit partially
Yeah,
correct, right?
you was right.
The seed
It
was
was
going
right.
up, but it doesn't come in the form of universe. It's a seed, right?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's blank, basically.
Seed. A seed.
It's a seed.
It's empty.
Yeah.
Blank.
Not
No,
even
it's
empty,
a seed.
A small seed, like a banyan tree. It grows from the seed.
The universe.
And then the great elements, which are constituents of these material causal principles, envelop them. So by that seed, it's enveloped by these material elements, and from there, it's able to differentiate. And
How does it swell then?
huh?
The seed. How does seed swells then?
It becomes covered by these material elements.
In the different universe, it become a universe then?
Yeah.
Okay.
The universe is manifest.
So Jai Baldev, what he's saying that when he's glancing on the Pradhan, the churning of Mahat Tattva take place. At the same time, the seeds are emanating from his pores. And the seeds are being enveloped by those material ingredients. And each and every seed, it becomes universe with those ingredients. It's quite scientific, but we have to accept it. We have to accept it. And we have to just say that Krishna Chamsha Kalapumshan. So Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jai, thank you for explanation. Srila Prabhupada ki. Sorry, it was an impromptu class. single somebody, just left.